Thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Chloe Sanducci. I am one of the team members from Project Unicorn, and we're really glad that you joined our Data Series 101 today. And specifically, we're going to be talking about 1EdTech. You're going to hear from them, hear the basics, and then just next steps if you want to get started. We'll do a Q&A at the end, so please at any point put into the chat, or you can put it into the Q&A box, any questions that you have for our speakers and for 1EdTech today. And then we will talk about some ways that you can engage at the end. Before I introduce our speakers, I want to throw our Project Unicorn site out there for you as a reference and for resources. You can keep in touch with us by signing up on the bottom of our website, and through that, you'll be able to access various resources. You can actually put into our resource database the keyword search for school or district if you are a school or a district, or you can put vendor if you're a vendor. And we have different resources for you all along the topic of interoperability. You can also access this specific webinar, the recording, and any of our other webinar recordings on our YouTube channel. And you can access that all through our Project Unicorn site. And lastly, I want to point out that this is the second part of our Data Standards 101 series. Again, we had EdFi on Tuesday. The recording will be on our YouTube channel. Today, we have 1EdTech. The recording will go up on our YouTube, and I'll send it out to everyone. And then you can join us on March 23rd at 1 p.m. for A for L. And we just put the link to all of these webinars into the chat. All right, I'm going to pass it off to our awesome speakers, Jeannie Imbriali and Dr. Tim Clark, to introduce themselves and tell you more about 1EdTech.
Hello, everyone. We are so excited to be here today. Again, I'm Jeannie Imbriali. I'm the Vice President of Operations and Member Relations, and I'm joined with my colleague here.
I'm Tim Clark, and I'm the VP of K-12 programs from 1EdTech.
Excellent. Okay, so the purpose of this webinar today is to share the basics about 1EdTech's portfolio of open standards and how they enable better teaching and learning, as well as ensure data privacy and security.
So 1EdTech is formerly known as IMS Global. You might be more familiar with that name. And it's been around for over 20 years and making an impact on learning through its interoperability standards and specifications. And they've really grown throughout the years. So 1EdTech is a member-led nonprofit community, and it's a partnership committed to building an open, trusted, and innovative digital learning ecosystem. So in our member community, we have pre-K to 12 school districts, state and local education agencies, higher education, workforce development, and also EdTech suppliers. And I think that what makes 1EdTech really unique is the fact that we do have this membership across the education spectrum, and its suppliers and school districts and state DOEs, all and higher ed, all collaborating shoulder to shoulder, working together to solve the problems around interoperability.
You can see here that we've experienced a tremendous amount of growth in our membership over the past 4 years, as there are tremendous needs in regards to interoperable EdTech solutions. Our work is not only recognized within the United States, but also internationally, as represented in our membership base. Overall, 1EdTech signifies our commitment to achieving an open, trusted, and innovative ecosystem that supports all learners. And more specifically, these 4 core leadership imperatives are the driver of everything that we do. So what is it that we do? Very simply, we help to ensure trust in the EdTech digital ecosystem through interoperability. At this time, we are going to introduce the 1EdTech portfolio of standards, along with the functions that they enable within an educational system's digital ecosystem.
So you might not be familiar with the name 1EdTech or IMS Global, but you might be more familiar with the names of some of our specifications. They are used pretty ubiquitously throughout the EdTech digital ecosystem in most learning institutions. So for that data administration, we do have the standard one roster, and that's used for rostering throughout our for the digital ecosystem, and it manages that data very safely and securely, that roster information. Also, we have a data privacy specification. All of that work around data privacy we call trusted apps. And it's one way that we ensure that the ecosystem is secure. We've vetted over 9,000 EdTech applications for data privacy, looking at their data privacy policies and sharing the results of that vetting with our members. We also have, for instructional design, Common Cartridge, and it's a way of packaging your content together so that it can be easily moved into your learning management system or your learning object repository. And then also CASE, which stands for Competency and Academic Standards Exchange. And it's just making your academic standards machine readable so that they can easily be aligned to your learning resources. And also LTI, or Learning Tools Interoperability, LTI Advantage. And that's also essential to that instructional design. And Jeannie's going to talk a little bit more about how that looks in that instructional delivery.
Thank you, Tim. So yes, so two standards that help to facilitate instructional delivery that come to mind most frequently are, again, as Tim mentioned, LTI Advantage. And LTI allows users to efficiently and securely navigate from tool to tool. And not only tool to tool, but within specific areas of the tool or pieces of content in the material, creating efficiencies in regards to teaching and learning. Also, another standard that supports instructional delivery is our standard called Caliper Analytics. And Caliper allows you to record user activity within different teaching and learning tools so that you can determine the efficacy of use of those tools within your digital ecosystem, and also make some judgments and decisions around return on investment, as well as professional development decisions in regards to educator use as well. Moving around the circle here and looking at the different pieces of functionality within the assessment area in your digital ecosystem. Your assessment systems might also take advantage of LTI to connect to something like your learning management system that is used to deliver your instruction. And also we have another standard called Question Test Interoperability, also known as QTI. And QTI facilitates the exchange of items, tests, and test results between authoring tools and LMS and assessment systems. Again, saving your educators and students time.
So continuing around our ecosystem, we have recognition of achievement. And we know that that's become even more important than ever after the pandemic, of trying to find ways to identify student learning, and that might not be the traditional way of recognizing it. So now with our comprehensive learner record, student achievements can be compiled into a wallet that can travel with them from learning environment to another learning institution, where they're able to show what they know and what they can do with these achievements and open badges. Which is another way of stacking skills together and showing achievement through the awarding of badges. Many people don't know that Open Badges is another 1EdTech standard, and over 75 million badges have been issued since its inception. and it's actually issued by organizations through a badging platform.
And coming full circle in regards to the functionality of analytics, and here we're talking specifically about usage analytics, again, is just a mention or a call out to Caliper that we also looked at in regards to aiding with decisions around instructional delivery and even design. And so collectively, these standards within the 1EdTech portfolio of standards help to create this open, trusted, and innovative digital ecosystem. So now that we've looked at this and taken the walk through or oriented you to all of the standards offered by 1EdTech, I wanted to share with you what they might look like in one model of an learning ecosystem. So as we reviewed earlier, or just in the previous slide, this is going to illustrate how these various different standards facilitate different operations within and amongst your various different systems here. So, for example, one roster might be used to connect your student information systems to other core systems that need an entire roster's worth of student and teacher information. So this is your most comprehensive set of student information. And you're sending that again to make these core systems work. Also, we wanted to look here as we start to introduce LTI here. LTI is the connector between various different tools within your digital ecosystem. So LTI might support a connection between your learning management system and your online meeting system. It might connect to various different learning applications and tools, as well as content resources or even assessment tools and resources as well. As we move on through here and look at Caliper, so Caliper would provide this usage information in regards to these various different systems, most typically used by educators and learners to your, and we're using this very generic term here because it might look differently in different institutions, either your data cloud, your ODS, or your data warehouse. So Caliper is used to feed that information in regards to analytics into this one central repository. And then we bring in CASE. So through CASE, this allows, based on these various different academic standards, the connection between academic standards and content or instruction or curriculum that you might have within your learning management system. It also allows you to align these various different standards. If you use your student information system for your grading and reporting, and you are using standards-based grading, CASE would also help to facilitate with that as well. And then you'll also see if you have a credentialing system here, the open badges or the comprehensive learner record or CLR standards would help to facilitate the exchange of that information between systems as well. All of this, I want to mention, is encapsulated around or encompassed within our specs for data privacy as well. And Tim will talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. Collectively, you can see how all of these different standards help to facilitate various different functions of systems within a digital ecosystem and help to ensure interoperability.
So 1EdTech has taken all of this. It was a lot to communicate all of these standards of interoperability. So 1EdTech has taken all of this information, all of the information about our specifications, as well as our data privacy, and brought it all together into one program that we call our Trusted Apps program. You can find out more information about our Trusted Apps program at trustedapps.org. And it will show you how we put open standards and data privacy at the forefront of education technology integrations. And there's some ways that you can engage with Trusted Apps from 1EdTech. First of all, we have a Trusted Apps pledge, and you can find the link to that at trustedapps.org, where you can show your commitment to open standards, and you can see all of the institutions as well as suppliers that have committed to having open standards to be at the forefront of their integrations, as well as transparency in communication about their integration. So making sure that when you sign on for something or a new educational platform or tool or resource, that it works the way that you thought it was going to work, and there's transparency about all of that interoperability. Also, certification. So Jeannie just talked to you about the way that the applications can work together to have a safe and secure data flow. Well, you want to make sure that your applications are certified to 1EdTech standards, and ensure and require that they're certified to the specifications such as OneRoster or LTI in your procurement or in your contracting processes, so that you can ensure that it will work in a plug and play manner within your ecosystem. Also, to put all of this together for our institutions, we have designed something called the Trusted Apps Management Suite. And it's a way that our members can access the vetting results of those 9,000 applications in our Trusted Apps directory. And they can share with teachers which applications are preferred, approved, or even denied for use based on a lot of information. It could be instructional use in the classroom. It could be based on the vetting result that the applications are not protecting data privacy, or it could be based on the interoperability and knowing that it may not work within the ecosystem that's been designed for the teachers and students and the school district. Our members have said that they appreciate having that tool because it helps them communicate better with the teachers about the kind of applications are preferred for the teaching and learning environment in their districts and institutions. Also, we now can even certify leaders with our Tackle program and our Trusted Apps Certified Leader certification. And so we just implemented that over the course of the last year. And at our Learning Impact Conference this June in Anaheim, California, we will be awarding our first Tackle certifications to the institutional leaders. And we've designed the Tackle certification program so that it's friendly for educational leaders, both in the teaching and learning departments as well as the technology departments, and understanding what they need to advocate for when it comes to interoperability of their learning platforms, tools, and resources. So we talked about certification. One way to verify that your EdTech tools, resources, and products are certified to 1EdTech standards, all of the standards that Jeannie and I just shared with you, is visiting our Trusted Apps directory. You can visit it at trustedappsdirectory.org. That's open to the public, and you can search throughout all of the applications that are there, and you can see what they've been certified in. So if they are certified to OneRoster, if they're certified to QTI or LTI or open badges, this is where you could check, and you can verify when you have issued an RFP that the products that are responding to your RFP are indeed certified to the standards that they are required to for your contract.
And as we wrap up our part of the presentation, and before we address any questions, we just wanted to come full circle by reviewing the purpose of this session today, and that we hope that we were able to give you an overview of the core portfolio of standards of 1EdTech, and to help to illustrate how these standards help to facilitate better teaching and learning and create efficiencies and effectiveness in that process. Because our goal is to help educators do what they do best, which was focus in on teaching and learning and not, in fact, the technology. So thank you all. And at this time, we will address any questions that are in the chat, and as well as anything that anyone else would like to share. So I've been taking a look here. And Gutier, I see that you were asking about the evolution of the standards over time. So again, Tim mentioned that we are a member-based organization, and membership not only offers you opportunities for certification of your product or validating, in fact, that your products meet the various different standards, but membership also allows you opportunities for engagement in certain activities such as our standard steering committees, which we are looking to those individuals within the field, those in educational institutions as well as educational technology solution providers, to come together to constantly provide suggestions and opportunities for refinement. And this is an ongoing and fluid process because as technology change, the standards need to change and be responsive as well. So thank you for that question, Gutier. And we decide on how to continue to improve based on what are the different opportunities and challenges that the membership base is bringing forward for consideration in regards to the evolution of the standards. Good question. Excellent. Well, we really appreciate the opportunity to share, and we hope those individuals on the call that are not members of 1EdTech take a look at our website and consider becoming part of the community. Thank you, Chloe.
Thank you.
Both. And before we finish up today, again, we have a couple minutes, so you can feel free to chat any last minute questions into the Q&A or the chat box. But another way, if you're wondering, how can I learn more in general about interoperability, about 1EdTech, about the data standards in general, well, Project Unicorn is here to help. And here's a couple steps that you can take to get involved and to meet with us to get that information. So one first step is we have a pledge. This is a vendor and school network pledge that is pledging your commitment to interoperability for vendors, for your product to be more interoperable, for school systems that you're going to create an interoperability plan within your school district. So you can sign the pledge here, and the link was just put into the chat. When you sign the pledge, you can then get a free technical assistance call with the Project Unicorn team. That will come in an email to schedule that, and we can learn more about you and where you're at in your interoperability journey and guide you to the correct resources. And lastly, for our school systems, we are currently running a survey. It's called our School System Data Survey that will inform our State of the Sector report. And also for you as a school system will help you track yourself and measure where you're at on different domains, specifically within interoperability. So it's a really great place to start and to see where you're at. And just a little added bonus for those who respond, you'll get a $25 Amazon gift card for responding to the survey. So you can fill that out here. It's about a 15-minute time commitment. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Lastly, again, we want to thank so much 1EdTech for joining us today in our Data Standards 101 series. Please join us for the next episode, we'll say, of this webinar series on March 23rd to hear from A4L. And if you would like to share this webinar with anyone, we will send out the recording and you can rewatch it or send it along to anyone that would benefit from this. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you to our speakers, and we hope to see you at our next webinar.
Yeah.